Hey everyone, today's lesson we are going to be going into our third unit, which is going to be all about color. Color is an element of design, and we just don't talk about it in elements of design because we like to go a lot deeper into color. And then after we do this, I will be back next week and we will start our 3D rooms. So, color can alter the appearance of form and space. It can affect our performance abilities and change our moods. So we are going to be going into the psychology of color today and kind of go behind like the way color makes you feel and that kind of stuff. And we'll do some personality things. And then, yeah. So let's start with red. Red has a bunch of different... So what you're going to notice when I go through these is that a lot of the colors portray polar opposite feelings, and that's because it all is in how you use that color. And I'll give you some examples. So red is associated with passion, hunger, love, anger. It's very intense. It's a very intense color. You want to be really careful when you use red in interior design because it's very, very bold. Red is associated with action and ambition. Red is actually, when you talk about how it's associated with hunger, if it has been proved by science and some studies that red makes you more hungry. And so if you notice, a lot of restaurants use red in their advertising and red in their color schemes and their designs because red promotes hunger, it makes you hungrier. And that's why you may notice sometimes if you go to a restaurant or you go out to eat and you're not super hungry, but you order more food than you normally would, that's usually because the color red is making you think that you're more hungry than you are. Yellow is very cheerful, warm, happy, impatient, cowardly. Those are some of the your traits for yellow. Not traits, but what the color is associated with. Blue is productive, peaceful, water, is associated with water, sadness, bad for food. Blue actually decreases your appetite and it makes things look less appetizing, and that's also been proven through some scientific studies. If you really think about it, besides like the candy flavor of blue raspberry, there's really no food that's actually blue. Every time I say this, kids are like, blueberries, and I'm like, but really though, blueberries are purple. If you really think about it, because like when you break those open, they're purple, they aren't blue. Sorry, my dogs are annoying. And, but, sorry. Okay. And blue makes you less likely to eat that food. I did an experiment with this once with one of my students. Sorry, with some of my students from my very first, when I student taught at Fremont High School. They used to do Cupcake Fridays, the ProStart kids would, and they would make the most insanely beautiful cupcakes, like the most gorgeous cupcakes you could ever even imagine. And they would sell them, and they would help them make money for their program. And one time for St. Patrick's Day, or I can't remember what it was. I think it was St. Patrick's Day. Actually, I don't know, because I don't know why they chose blue instead of green. But anyways, they decided to make blue velvet cupcakes instead of red velvet cupcakes. Because red velvet's just food coloring. It's chocolate. And so they decided to do it blue instead of red. And then they did like this really pretty like bluish green frosting. And they did like blue decorations. And it was like this very blue-like cupcake, right? Gorgeous cupcake. And it was the worst selling week out of the entire year of cupcakes, because people would just walk by and they'd see this tray of blue cupcakes and they'd just be like, yeah, like it's okay. And so blue really does make you less hungry and less willing to eat the food. Blue is also associated with loyalty. If you think about it, dogs are considered one of the most loyal animals, and there is a dog food named Blue, and it's because blue is associated with loyalty, which is associated with dogs. It's also why a lot of dogs are named Blue. And frigid. because blue is associated with water and ice and snow, so can make you feel really cold. Green is associated with health, nature. It is a very fresh color. It's associated with money, possessiveness. Green is the color of envy, so it would make sense why it's associated with that. Purple. Purple is associated with wisdom, wealth, royalty. Purple is the color of royalty, and the reason for this is because how you used to make the color purple with dyes and things like that was incredibly expensive, like unbelievably expensive. And so if someone had purple, it meant they were very wealthy, and it meant they had a lot of money. So it was usually associated with royalty. It's also extravagant, but here's the thing that I think is interesting: is purple is also associated with being cheap, and I think that's because purple is an interesting color where if you do it the wrong way, it comes across looking very cheap. But if it's done the right way, it can look very extravagant. It's very weird. Pink is associated with girly things. This doesn't mean that you can't like pink if you're a boy, or you can't look good in pink, or you can't design in pink, because pink is fantastic. But because somewhere in society they decided to associate blue with boys and pink with girls, pink has always been associated as a girly color. It's associated with romance. It's a feminine color. Love. It is also associated with being immature. I think the reason for this is because the color pink is associated with little girls or baby girls, and so because it's always associated with younger people, it's kind of viewed as an immature color. But pink is actually a really popular color in interior design right now. Very, very popular. So you'll probably be seeing it a lot. And it's also associated with silliness. Brown is associated with comfort. It is down to earth. It is a more serious color. It is relatively boring. And it's good for flooring. Orange is exciting, warm. Orange stimulates communication. So I want you to maybe notice that. If you maybe go and notice if any of the counselor's offices here have been decked out or orange or anything like that, or if you've noticed if orange kind of makes you feel like you're more willing to talk. It's optimistic, superficial, and it is also pessimistic. It's interesting because orange, like I said, it has the complete polar opposites of what it means when it comes to optimism and pessimism. Orange is associated with pessimism because there are some very, very bad things in this world that are orange, like construction, prison uniforms, things like that. And so orange is an optimistic color full of excitement and warmth and happiness. But because orange is associated with some really bad things, it also can mean both. White is pure. It is associated with perfection, innocence, cleanliness, and it makes rooms appear larger. Black is secretive. It represents the unknown. It's hidden from the world. Dark. Black is associated with like depression, mainly because black is associated with funerals and death. And if you're in mourning, you usually wear a lot of black. I love the color black, though. I wear it all the time, and I love black in interior design. I love using black in interior design. So it doesn't necessarily have to be depressing, but that's what black is associated with because if you like death. Okay, so based on the psychology of color and the psychology of color alone, okay, this does not mean you have to do this in your house. I can't stress that enough. But this person who created the psychology of color, based on how colors make you feel, came out and said this is what colors the rooms in your house should be. Now, this does not have to be followed. This does not mean that if you have a different colored room than what the psychology of color says, then you are bad at interior design. That's just not the case. But this is just for like a fun kind of idea that if you follow the psychology of color based on how colors make you feel, these are the colors you should paint your rooms. So a home office, I want you guys to think for a second what you think it would be. And then I'll reveal it. Okay, a home office should be blue. And so here are a couple of blue for the reason that blue is associated with being productive and productivity. And a home office, the purpose of a home office is to get work done in an office. So blue is associated with productivity, so your office should be blue. Here's some other blue offices. I love the blue cabinets in the picture on the right. I think they're so pretty. Okay, a bedroom. What do you guys think a bedroom should be based on what colors they are associated, what emotions this color is associated with? Okay, your bedroom should be green. Green is associated with nature and fresh and healing and relaxation and all of these things. And so, of course, green would be a good color to have in your room because it is a calming color that creates feelings of nature and health and refreshing. Here are some more examples of some green bedrooms. Okay, a girl's bedroom. They didn't, if whoever decided this psychology of color didn't put in a boy's bedroom, which I thought was kind of strange, but that's fine. So a girl's bedroom, ding, 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 you guessed it, because we're going based on 100% on society and what they've deemed normal, it should be pink. It doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? You guys, like I said, I can't stress this enough. You guys do not have to follow the psychology of color when designing, but this is just a fun little theory. Here's some more pink bedrooms. I am absolutely obsessed with the one on the left. If I would like this as an adult. I would like this bed. It's got stairs, it has a tower, it has a bed on the bottom, and it has a slide. Like, this is every person's dream come true. I don't care who you are. And then I really do like the look of the pink on the right. If I were to do an all pink bedroom, I would do something kind of along the lines of that for two girls. Okay, the kitchen. What color do you guys think the kitchen should be? Based on the psychology of color. It should be yellow. The reason for this is because yellow is associated with bright, happy, sunny, things like that. And because the kitchen is actually supposed to be considered the heart of the home, and it's where it's supposed to be like the happiest place in your home. And so because yellow is associated with happiness, they say your kitchen should be yellow. So here are just a couple different examples of some yellow kitchens. The picture on the right actually is a picture that I used to help my sister paint her kitchen in her very first house, because she bought this house and she had these big black and white checkered tiled floors in the kitchen, and she was like, ew, I hate these floors, this is the first thing I want to rip out. And I was like, no, like, these are so cool. You could like really play with this floor. Like, it can be like a really huge piece of your design. And I said, we should design your kitchen around this floor because it's so beautiful. And so I found this kitchen on Pinterest, and we kind of went off that. And so we painted the lower cabinets, the turquoise, and we painted our upper cabinets white. We had the black and white checkered floor, and then we painted the walls yellow. And then we accented with red orange, and we just went with like this big like vintage type feel, and we ended up finding like this red orange like vintage phone that we hung up on a phone jack. Didn't work, but it was just like it was pretty cool. And then we framed a huge picture of her and her husband in black and white and put it above her dining room table to kind of give that like whole vintage look, and it turned out so cool. So I just, whenever I see that floor, that's what I picture. Here's some more yellow kitchens. The one on the left is a little bit more modern, and the one on the right is very, very country. Okay, the living room. This is the one that I have the hardest time with because I am not a huge fan of this color. But I guys try and think. What do you think? Based on what the colors are associated with, what color the living room should be? You may have just heard my brother start singing, and if you did, I apologize. Okay, the living room should be purple. Now, the reason they say your living room should be purple, based on the psychology of color, is purple is associated with extravagance and wealth. And if you think about it, your living room is the one room that pretty much every single person who comes to your house will see, your living room. And so, because of that, people are naturally, you want to show off and you want to create a feeling of wealth and extravagance in your home. And so since purple is associated with that, that's why I think they chose purple for the living room. I don't really like these two looks very much, but the next ones I do like a little bit better. I could do the purple ones on either of these pictures. I am more of a fan of the one with the green and the yellow couch personally. I don't know if it's the dog that makes me like this picture more, like this design more, but that's a little bit more of my style if I were to pick a purple living room. Okay, the dining room. What do you think the color of the dining room should be based on the psychology of color? The dining room should be red because red promotes hunger and you eat in a dining room. So that's why they say that this should be red. Here are a couple of different red dining rooms. I don't really like either of these that much, just personally. But that's just because I think red is... You have to be careful with red. You have to be really careful with red and how you do it. Here is, I really like the colors in both of these pictures, and I like the white board and batten walls halfway up to kind of help balance out the red a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the patterned rug in the in the picture on the left, or like the windows on the buffet, but I really, really like the color of the walls. And then I like the color of the walls in the next one too. It's a lot brighter though, so you need to be careful with how you decorate that space. So the psychology of color, your office should be blue, bedroom should be green, a girl's room should be pink, your kitchen should be yellow, living room should be purple, and dining room should be red. Remember, once again, this is just a fun theory. You do not have to do this, especially right now in interior design. Minimalism is very, very in style, and neutral colors are very, very in style. So you do not have to do this when you're designing a space, but it is a fun theory to consider. Okay, so why is it important to take into account of feelings and emotions that colors create? You want your space to meet the feeling that it's intended for. And so that's why it's important when you're looking at colors to use. Do you know something about your favorite design colors and the emotions they represent? Are you drawn to certain colors because of different feelings they create? Do you disagree with any of the emotions that are associated with certain colors? Okay, I want you guys to think of your two, you don't necessarily need to write them down, but think of your two favorite colors. And now we're going to go into some personality traits. Think of your two favorite colors. Okay, got them? So colors and personalities. While there's a lot of validity to moods and psychological effects created by the colors used in a room, psychologists are still studying color preferences and personalities. Following are some personality descriptions based on color preferences. While this information should not be taken too seriously, it is pretty fun to consider. So if your favorite color is pink, you are probably laid back and carefree. You may be somewhat sheltered and innocent, or you wish you were. Words that describe you are shy, romantic, and feminine. You are gentle, and you have a calming effect on those around you and people who need a friend seek you out. If you wrote down red, you want to be a part of the action and you are quite impulsive. You are outspoken, quick-tempered, and intense. These words describe your personality. In a crowd, you are dynamic and noticeable, and if you're not careful, you can become overbearing. You are emotional, exciting, and athletic. You give your opinion whether others will agree with you or not, and life for you must be lived to the fullest. If you chose yellow, you are an intellectual and drawn toward the new and modern. You are high-spirited, cheerful, and idealistic. Those best describe your personality. You are vivacious, extroverted, and comedic. You have strong opinions and you can be stubborn. And you live by high standards and give sound advice. If you picked orange, you are unique. You are friendly and you get along with others. You radiate warmth and inspire those you are with. You tend to be social and are drawn to groups of people, and you are the heart of the home and grateful for family and friends. If blue is your favorite color, blue is my favorite color, and so I can identify with a few of these personality traits. You are cautious, conservative, and sensitive to the needs of others. Your basic need for harmony often thrusts you into the role of peacemaker. Words that best describe you are businesslike, calm, and capable. And you are a loyal, trustworthy friend, but expressing your emotions in a relationship is difficult for you. I match all of those. Green. If you picked green, you are fresh, friendly, and natural. You are persistent, well-balanced, and stable. The environment is important to you in your life, and you like things basic to the point of being simple. As a friend, you are frank, sensitive, affectionate, and loyal. If you chose blue-green, like a turquoise or a teal, you are sensitive and you need loving care and adoration from others, but you maintain your independence. Showing emotion is difficult for you, and others perceive you as self-centered. You have excellent taste and a mature outlook. If you picked purple, you are creative. You consider yourself unique and set yourself apart from others. You are an artist at heart. Scheduling and mundane tasks bore you. You can frequently be found daydreaming and would rather and actually prefer fantasy over reality. You seek cultural events and luxury. And purple is their favorite color. That's a weird typo. I don't know where that sentence is supposed to go. But if you picked brown, you are likely to be seen as stable and unchanging. You are self-disciplined, conscientious, and dependable. You like the rugged outdoors and the ultra-natural. And you are warm, comfortable, intimate, and accepting. If you picked black, you are sophisticated, mysterious, and dramatic. You are dignified and keep to yourself. You like to keep people at a distance, guarding your emotions, creating an impenetrable barrier between yourself and others. You are methodical in your work, making sure everything is completed as required, down to the last detail. I also really like the color black, and those match my personality pretty well as well. If you picked white, you expect to be happy most of the time. Your personality is light, good, and pure. You have a sense of innocence about you, and you seek perfection and expect others to do the same, which sometimes can make you appear cold. Okay, did the descriptions match your personality? Think about it, why or why not. It's just fun. It doesn't necessarily need to mean anything. If you feel like it didn't match you, that's okay. If you feel like it did, cool. Okay, here is the assignment that you're going to do. You're going to find a picture of each room we discussed: a bedroom, kitchen, living room, dining room, home office. I want you to choose a room that you would most likely have in your home. So I want you to choose pictures that you like. And that, so this assignment might take you a little bit more time, because I want you to find things that you would put in your house, okay? Make sure each room you pick follows the psychology of color. An example would be the kitchen has to be yellow. And then I want you to follow the example that I have that I'm going to go through, so you know what I want it to look like. And don't forget professional lettering. One thing I want you to be aware of is that not everything in the space has to be, like, say as an example, if the kitchen is yellow, it doesn't need to be 100% yellow. Obviously, there's no variation in that, and it doesn't look good. You want to have other colors balancing off as well to make it look good. So don't sit there and think like the walls have to be yellow. It doesn't necessarily have to be the walls. The kitchen cabinets could be yellow. The island could be yellow. So that kind of stuff. I hope that makes sense. I'll show you. And then you can use different tints, tones, and shades of that color. It doesn't have to be the pure color from the color wheel, if that makes sense. So you'll start with a title slide, okay, and you'll title it The Psychology of Color Assignment, and then you'll put your name on it. So you'll see I wrote Psychology of Color Assignment, and then student's name. And then you go in, and so I picked this kitchen because I thought it was, I really liked how the yellow and the green played off each other, and I really liked the bar stools. So you can see that I wrote kitchen and the color yellow in all professional lettering. This is the red dining room I chose. I think the wallpaper is kind of cool. It's a very bold print. It's a little bit more daring, and I think it's pretty fun. So I said dining. So remember, dining room, red, all in caps because this is professional lettering. This is the living room I chose, the same one I showed you in the lesson because I like this living room. So that's the purple living room I chose. Home office. This one, like you can see, the walls are not blue, but the cabinets and the storage areas are blue. It does not have to be the color of the walls. It just needs to show a lot of that color in it, if that makes sense. And I really like these cabinets. I think they're beautiful. And then bedroom. Here's the green bedroom that I would have in my house. This kind of wood paneling on walls is very, very popular right now. Accent walls are very popular right now, and it's very trendy to do them with the wood paneling. Okay, and that is your assignment, and then you'll see that there's a place for you to submit it on Canvas once you're done. So it's just going to be 6 slides, a title slide, and then 5 pictures of rooms. Don't forget to use professional lettering, and you'll submit that into Canvas where it tells you, and that is your lesson and your assignment for the day. Bye!